If the idea of making hundreds of thousands of dollars per year by taking something that's ugly and broken down and making it pretty sounds enticing to you, then you need to dive all into house flipping. Because house flipping is literally taking an ugly property, buying it undervalued, putting some rehab into it, and then listing it on the market for sale and making a profit. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands of investors across the United States doing this daily. There's no reason that you shouldn't be doing it. And when I tell you the average profit on each house flip made in the United States, your mind is going to be blown. When we look at the asset of real estate, there's really a lot of different ways that you can make money. You can be a real estate agent, you can buy rental properties, you can do what they call wholesaling, which is just where you get a property under contract and then you actually go and sell that contract to another investor before you ever even close on the property. And then we can do things like house flipping. Now, house flipping has been very romanticized over the years on all the TV shows, on all the networks that you know what I'm talking about. We can think of the fixer-uppers, the flipper flops, all of them. They've given us a glimpse into what life as a fix and flipper looks like. Now, obviously what they're doing is dramatized and oftentimes romanticized. But there is one thing that stands true about house flipping that's shown on the shows and what you're going to experience in real life. And that's you can make a lot of money doing it. Now, a lot of people struggle with, should I flip a house, which is just buying it ugly, making it pretty, and then turning it around and selling it for a profit? Or should I buy a rental property and keep a property in my portfolio? Well, I think the decision comes down to one key factor. Are you trying to generate income? If you're trying to generate income immediately, you're not going to buy the rental property. While the rental property, yes, will produce you some cash flow, it's oftentimes going to be a few $100s a month. Whereas we can go and flip a property within 3 to 6 months and make tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So oftentimes, real estate investors will have a balanced approach. They'll try to put as many properties into their rental portfolio as possible for long-term wealth, but they also want to generate income for the here and now to be able to live off of. You guys know that we gotta eat, we gotta pay for our kids to go to school and buy clothes and all the stuff that comes with life. And so house flipping on the short side of things allows us to do that. Now, what I think is very interesting is how much the average gross profit of house flippers was in 2022. You guys ready for this? Drum roll, please. $68,000. So it's about a 27% return on the money that people had invested into these flips, with the average gross profit of being $68,000. Now, from my experience, these flips, when it's all said and done, are going to take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. If you think about it, you put an offer on a property, it takes a month to close. Then you got 2 to 3 months of rehab, sometimes longer if things go bad. And then you have to market the property for sale, and it's going to be another month to close once you get it under contract. But I don't know about you guys, whether it's taking 3 months or whether it's taking 6 months, if at the end of that project, I can make $68,000, I'm okay with that. Because what that tells me is if I do that multiple times in 1 year, even just twice in a year, I'm going to make over $130,000. I don't know about you, but if I can do 2 projects and make 6 figures, then I am going to at least explore what this house flipping is all about. And so that's what my wife and I did starting in 2015. So we actually flipped our first property in Port St. Lucie, Florida in 2015 while we were living in Jacksonville, Florida. Still to this day, I've never seen that first property that we flipped, but we ended up making a very small profit on it, not near the average profit of last year at $68,000, but we learned a lot along the way. It taught me how to find a good deal, how to manage that process, and then what I need to do moving forward to be successful. Now, fast forward to today in 2023, and we've got a huge portfolio of rentals while also have continuing to do flips on the side to generate income. And it is something that I have experienced firsthand that will completely change your life. Real estate as a whole, whether you're keeping properties in your portfolio or flipping, if you dabble in real estate and you do it the right way, then you are going to make a lot of money. But the key phrase here is do it the right way. If you've ever heard the saying, you make money when you buy, it is completely true. We, in our real estate transactions, have to make sure that we are getting good deals on the front end so that by the end of the journey, we have that profit left over. And it doesn't happen by accident. You don't think that these investors go in and just say, well, this looks like a property that needs some love. I'll just buy it at whatever price the person's asking for.
It's no secret that if you're going to be successful in real estate investing, you have to be able to fund your deals. Whether you're doing the Burr method or whether you're fixing and flipping properties for a profit, you got to be able to get to the closing table with money, and you got to have money to rehab the property. And so I personally use backflip capital when I need money to get to the closing table and to rehab my properties. I'm in the middle of a flip right now, and I partner with Backflip. It has been the smoothest process of all time. I literally went on their app, applied for the loan. You get pre-approved in less than 48 hours. You can lock in funding in just a few seconds with the touch of a button. Funding takes less than 2 weeks. Hello, that gives you an advantage when you're making offers on properties. And I can't say enough about partnering with Backflip Capital. They're great folks with a fantastic product that everybody listening to this should check out for the next time you go to do a Burr deal or fix and flip property. So here's what I want you to do. Go down to the show notes of this show. I've put a link for Backflip Capital in those notes. All you have to do is click the link so that you can download their app and get your next deal funded with Backflip.
Put some money into it and hope that I make a profit on the back end. No, that's a good way to go bust and do it the wrong way. And unfortunately, there are people who do that. But for you listening to this video, I'm going to teach you today on how to make sure that you buy your fix and flips at the right price every time to give yourself the greatest chance of making a profit on the back end. And it's literally the simplest formula in the world, but most don't know it, and it's something that you have to know and implement to be successful. So I'm going to show you guys right now. All right, so the formula that we have to follow to make sure that we're getting a good deal on every fix and flip goes like this. ARV times 70% minus, and you guys hang with me, I'm gonna break all this down for you, minus rehab gives us our purchase price. PP stands for purchase price. Hope you can see that without the glare. ARV times 70% minus rehab is going to tell us what we need to purchase the property at. Now you may be saying, what does all this mean? This looks like algebra and I sucked at algebra. It's okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. I was terrible at math too. Good thing is you don't have to be good at math. The only math you need to know is like make sure inside the parentheses that we're multiplying this before we subtract rehab, all right? If we can do that much, then we'll be successful. So what is ARV? ARV is just after repair value, okay? After repair value, which is just a fancy phrase for saying, what is this property going to be worth after we fix it up? That's after repair value. What is the property, the ugly, distressed, undervalued property you're looking at, going to be worth after you fix it up? How do we find that? Easy. ARV is found through comps, okay? Comps. Comps are just comparable homes in the same area that you're looking at buying your property in that have just sold recently. So let's say for example, you're buying a 3-bed, 2-bath home that's 1,500 square foot, okay? You can literally go onto Zillow, right? Change the filter to sold, then change the bed bath filter to 3-bed, 2-bath, change the square footage filter to 1,500, and click the filter sold in last 90 days. Boom. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you a list. It's going to show you on the Zillow map of all the homes that are 3-2, 1,500 square foot in that 2 to 3 mile radius of the home you're looking for that have sold in the last 90 days. So what you're going to do is you're going to find 2 to 3 homes that have sold in the last 90 days that have been fixed up, that have been renovated, and you're going to take the sales price and you're going to divide it by the square footage of those homes, Okay, you're going to take the sales price of the homes that have been renovated that you just found on Zillow, divide it by the square footage, and that's going to tell you the price per square foot that homes in that area are selling for. Okay, so if we're buying a 3-bed, 2-bath home, 1,500 square foot, and it's selling for, let's say, $300,000. So pull out our calculator, the after repair value is $300,000, and the square footage is 1,500. That means that homes in this area are selling for $200 a square foot, okay? So then we can feel pretty confident if we've looked at a number of properties that have just sold that our after repair value, okay, is going to be, based on this, $200 per square foot of whatever the square footage of our home is if we're going to renovate it similar to the homes that have just sold. Okay, so if we're buying a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot, and 2 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot just sold for $300,000 at $200 a square foot, we can feel pretty good about ARV plugging in $300,000. The after repair value of this home after we fix it up is going to be worth $300,000. Then we need to multiply it by 70%. Okay? 300,000 times 70% gives us 210,000. 210,000. Now, that's not where we want to buy it yet because we still have to rehab the property. This is just our buffer to make sure we have room for a profit, okay? We want to make sure we have room for a profit, and getting a 70% discount off the ARV makes sure of that, but now we still need to subtract what our rehab amount will be. Now, there's a number of ways we can get rehab estimates. I think the best way is to have multiple contractors go and give you quotes for what needs to be done. There's a whole formula for getting quotes and managing rehab that we teach in our mentorship, the Rental Academy. How to do all this. We got a network of contractors around the country that we can link you up to. There's a link down below if you want to set up a call and talk to us about it. So I can't go into all the details of rehabbing today, but the best way is to get multiple contractors to quote you what needs to be done, okay? But if you want to give yourself a quick glance at how much money you're going to need to put into the rehab, you can estimate somewhere between $30 to say $40 a square foot. Okay, that's how much we're going to have to spend per square foot as just a rough estimate to help you get a good idea of what you may have to spend on rehab to renovate the property. Well, on this sample property, we said that it's going to be 1,500 square foot. So if we meet in the middle between $30 and $40 a square foot, and just say $35 a square foot times 1,500, that means we're going to have to spend $52,000 on this property. So our rehab on this property is going to be $52K. All right, so let's go back to our formula. ARV is 300,000. Multiply that by 70%, that gives us 210,000. Then we're going to take that 210,000 and subtract our estimated rehab costs, which is 52,000, and that tells us 210 minus 52,000. Make sure I get these numbers right. 210 minus 52,000 tells us we need to buy the property at $158,000 to make sure that we're going to make a profit on this property. And so if we buy it at $158,000, let's look at what our profit will be. So buy it at $158,000, we got to spend $52,000 on rehab. That puts us all in, and what we said, 210, is that right? 210K. And then we said ARV was going to be 300. So that's what it's worth. We're all in at 210,000. And that means we have made a $90,000 profit. Don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of making $90,000 profits. Although we may not make that much on every deal, seeing how the average gross profit on flips in 2022 was $68,000, there's still the opportunity for this. But even if we're making $25,000, $35,000, $50,000 on flips, you do that a couple times and it's really going to have a positive impact on your finances and on your financial future. But it all comes back to this formula right here. We have to trust this every single time to make sure that we're making good buying decisions when people get in trouble in real estate is when they deviate from this formula. This formula equals success. If you try to cheat that formula, you're going to put yourself in a bad position. But I know none of you listening to this video will do that because you want to make good decisions, you want to make a lot of money, and you want to do it the right way. House flipping is a fantastic way to do that. I've just taught you how to go and analyze a flip, boom, in 5 to 10 minutes, so you can go out, make a decision. Should you buy a property? Should you not buy a property? If you should, go all in, attack it, and go make yourself a lot of money. If you decide you want help along the way, because it can be a complex topic, there's a lot going on, especially if you haven't done real estate, go down to the show notes, click the link for the Rental Academy, set up a time to talk with our team. We would love to see where you're at, if you'd be a good fit for our program, and if we'd be a good fit to help you guys. If you like content like this, you thought it was helpful, it's kind of helping you move the needle forward in your real estate journey, click the subscribe button below. It'll let you know when we have new videos coming out. And also don't forget to like this video. It helps us get it out to others so that they can learn how to do this just like you and achieve financial and time freedom. Thank you for tuning in today. I'll see you next time.